And thou being a wild olive tree, all right, thou being a wild olive tree, were grafted in among them, and with them partakest of the root and the fatness of the olive tree. So now this wild olive tree, okay, could be grafted in. Also, the branches that got cut off, the Jews that got cut off because they didn't believe in Yahushua, now they can come back in as well. Verse 18, it says, boast not against the branches. Now, if you that was a Gentile minded and you were gone away because you didn't follow the law, statutes, and commandments, okay, you were doing the things, the customs of these other nations, all right, now that you believe in Yahushua and you coming back in, it says, verse 18, boast not against the branches. But if thou boast, thou bearest not the root, but the root thee. Thou wilt say then, the branches were broken off that I might be grafted in. Well, because of unbelief, they were broken off. All right. Those Jews were broken off because of unbelief. And thou standest by faith. All right. These Gentile Israelite foreigners were having faith in Yahushua. All right. It says, be not high-minded, but fear. For if God spare not the natural branches, take heed lest he also spare not thee. All right. So that wild olive tree was talking about Israelite foreigners. Let's get a couple scriptures. All right. This is Isaiah 49. Isaiah 49. Wait a minute. Isaiah. Oh no, that's something else. Oh, you know what? Isaiah 5. I'll hit. Isaiah 5. My bad. Isaiah 5. I'll start at the top. It says, now will I sing to my well-beloved the song of my beloved touching his vineyard. My well-beloved hath a vineyard in a very fruitful hill, and he fenced it, and gathered out the stones thereof, and planted it with the choicest vine, and built a tower in the midst of it, and also made a winepress therein. And he looked that it should bring forth grapes, and it brought forth wild grapes. And now, O inhabitants of Jerusalem, and ye men of Judah, I pray you betwixt me and my vineyard. What could have been done more to my vineyard that I have not done in it? Wherefore, when I looked at it, it should bring forth grapes, but it brought forth wild grapes. And now it says, what could I have done more? That reminded me of Jeremiah. It says Jeremiah 5. 5 and 7. It says, how shall I pardon thee for this? Thy children have forsaken me and sworn by them that are no gods. These Israelites have forsaken the Most High and sworn by them that are no gods. When I had fed them to the full, then they committed adultery and assembled themselves by troops in the harlots' houses. All right? They went by troops in the harlot houses serving these other gods. He said, man, I fed you to the full. What more you want me to do? That's why in Isaiah 5, they said, what could I have been done more to my vineyard? I did all this. I gave you this. I gave you that. I made you special. You had the law, statutes, and commandments where other nations looked at you like this wise and understanding people. What more could I have done? Verse 5, it says, and now go to, and I will tell you what you will do with my vineyard, and I will take away the hedge thereof, and it shall be eaten up, and break down the wall thereof, and it shall be trodden down. All right, verse 7, it says, the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel, and the men of Judah his pleasant plant. And he looked for judgment, but it behold oppression. Look for righteousness, but it hold a cry. All right. It says, verse 11, woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink, and continue unto night, till wine inflame them. And the harp, and the viol, and the tabret, and the pipe, and the wine are in their feasts. But they regard not the work of Yahweh, neither consider the operation of his hands. Therefore my people are gone into captivity, because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude are dried up with thirst. That's how you became that wild olive tree. All right. That's how you became that wild olive tree. Another precept on that is Jeremiah chapter 2. Jeremiah chapter 2 and 19. It says, thine own wickedness shall correct thee, and thy backsliding shall reprove thee. Know therefore and see that it is an evil thing and bitter, and thou hast forsaken the Lord thy God, and that my fear is not in thee, saith the Lord power of hosts. For of old time I have broken thy yoke and burst thy bands, and thou sayest, I will not transgress. When upon every hill and upon every green tree thou wanderest, playing the harlot. Thou wanderest out of the way, playing the harlot into these other gods, which are no gods. All right, they're made up. Verse 21, it says, yet I planted thee a noble vine, holy and right seed. How then art thou turned into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me? All right. How are you turned into a degenerate plant? All right. That's that wild olive tree that Ezekiel was talking about. I mean, that Paul was talking about in Romans. OK, it says that, hey, that they were a wild olive tree because they had wandered out of the way. They were in these other Greek provinces and in even other places. OK, and they were doing the customs of the heathen that was round about them. He said, man, I fed you to the full. Why are you following them? Why are you doing all this? OK, but if you come back and return, then I'll have mercy on you. All right. This is all about the Israelites. So back in Romans 11 and 23, it says, and they shall also, if they abide not still in unbelief, shall be grafted in. For the Most High is able to graft them in again. So graft them in to cut out and for the sake of inserting a scion, for inserting a descendant, someone that's still an Israelite. Okay. Because it says, for God is able to graft them in again. Okay. So now Isaiah 49 and 5. This is Isaiah 49 and 5. It says, and now saith the Lord that formed me from the womb to be his servants, to bring Jacob again to him. It's all throughout the scriptures. To bring Jacob again to him, because they wandered out of the way. It says, though Israel be not gathered, yet shall I be glorious in the eyes of the Lord, and my God shall be my strength. Verse 6, it says, and he said, it is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob. To raise up the tribes of Jacob, right? And to restore the preserved of Israel. I will, then it's got them two little dots right there. Boom. Next, it says, I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the ends of the earth. Because some of the Israelites are going to be turned into Gentiles and be Gentile minded, living around these other nations. Now, some are going to still be in Israel. All right. That's not going to believe in Yahushua. So those I want you to bring again to me, and these Gentiles, these Israelite foreigners. All right. I want you to bring them again unto me too. Here's one of the times in the Old Testament where Gentiles right here is talking about Israelites, Israelite foreigners. OK, so to bring Jacob again to him. All right. That's another one of those spots where you got to bring again. All right. This is Jeremiah 36. Jeremiah 36 and 6. It says, therefore go thou and read in the roll which thou hast written from my mouth. the words of the Lord in the ears of the people in the Lord's house upon the fasting day. And also thou shalt read them in the ears of all Judah that come out of their cities. It may be that they will present their supplication before the Lord, and I will return everyone from, and will return everyone. So I'm gonna read that from 7 again. It says, it may be that they will present their supplication before the Lord and will return everyone from his evil way. All right. So when you following some other gods, which are no gods, when you following heathens and their customs and doing the things they're doing, then that's an evil way. But he said, hey, if you make supplication before me and will return everyone from his evil way, for great is the anger and fury of the Lord, for great is the anger and the fury that the Lord hath pronounced against this people. Okay, he pronounced this evil against us, all right, because we wandered out of the way. But he said, if we repent, if we make supplication and pray to the Lord and beg his forgiveness and return everyone from his evil way, then you're able to be grafted in again. You're able to return. Okay, you were already there. You wandered out of the way. You got out of good graces with the Most High, but then you return by making supplication to him, repenting, and returning from the evil way that you was on. You forsook your sins and forsook all that. Now you're able to come back. You're able to return. These are the Gentiles that in the New Testament that's able to return, that's able to have salvation. It's simple. It's simple. Okay, so now back in Romans 11:23 again. And they also, so if they abide not still in unbelief, shall be grafted in, for the Most High is able to graft them in. So we was talking about the Israelite foreigners, the Gentiles, whether they was called Greeks, Romans, barbarians, okay, whether they were called whatever they was, whatever Gentile that they were called, all right, or you were a Jew, okay, who didn't believe in Yahweh Shai, all right, all of us were talking about these two right here in Romans 11. Now, if you come back, you could be grafted in again. It says, for God is able to graft them in again. Verse 24, for if thou were cut out of the olive tree, which is wild by nature, and were grafted contrary to nature into a good olive tree, how much more shall these, which be the natural branches, be grafted into their own olive tree? It says, matter of fact, verse 26, because this sums it up. It says, and so all Israel shall be saved. It was talking about all Israel in the first place. No matter if you were a Jew and didn't believe in Yahweh Shai and got cast out. No matter if you were an Israelite foreigner who were following the gods and the customs of these heathen where you were. All right. If y'all repent, if y'all make supplication to the Most High and forsake your sins and forsake your unbelief and believe in the truth. All right. And worship him in spirit and in truth. Then you're able to come in again. So it didn't matter. All Israel, no matter where you're at, you could be saved. Okay? This is what it was all about. Right here. Verse 26. And after all I said, all that, in from 11 on, chapter 11, 1 on down, and so all Israel shall be saved. Okay? Now I'm going to go to the beginning of Romans, because once again, I'm gonna just start at 1 and 1. It says Romans 1 and 1. Paul, a servant of Yahweh Shai, called to be an apostle, separated unto the gospel of the Most High God. I'm gonna jump down to verse 7. It says, to all that be in Rome. So there were some Israelites that was in Rome. Check it out. It says, to all that be in Rome, beloved of God, called to be saints. There's that saints again. I read in Psalms 50:5 who the saints was, and Psalms 148:13 who the saints were. All right. So all the Israelites that be in Rome, okay, beloved of God. Matter of fact, let me just say Rome, like it says, to all that be in Rome, beloved of God, called to be saints, grace to you and peace from the Most High our Father and the Lord Yahushua. First, I thank my God through Yahushua for all of you, that your faith is spoken of throughout the whole world. So he was hearing about, man, there's some Israelites in Rome that got faith, you know? And so he made his move, all right? So jumping down to 13, it says, now I would not have you ignorant, brethren, that oftentimes I purposed to come unto you, but was let hitherto, that I might have some fruit among you also, even as among other Gentiles, as among other Israelite foreigners, right? It says, I am a debtor both to the Greeks and to the barbarians. I am a debtor both to the Greeks and to the barbarians, both the wise and unwise. The wise, knowing that they Israelites, but then don't know too much else. And to the unwise, those just didn't know. They thought they was just Romans. All right. They just thought that, they thought they was the heathen wherever they was. All right. But he said, I'm a debtor both unto all y'all. Right. Now that Greeks was those who were Hellenized. But then you had some Israelites in Rome, probably speaking in Latin, okay, and doing the things of the Romans. Now, in what's this? Romans 1:14. Romans 1:14. 1:14. That barbarians is the Greek word barbaros. One whose speech is rude, rough, harsh. One who speaks a foreign or strange language which is not understood by others, used by the Greeks of any foreigner ignorant of the Greek language. So if you wasn't speaking Greek language, all right, and you wasn't speaking the Hebrew, you were called a barbarian. So no matter wherever you was, all right, that's that definition right there. Okay, so Paul said, among other Gentiles, besides you Roman Gentiles, besides you Roman Israelite foreigners. Okay, it says, verse 14, I am a debtor both to the Greeks and to the barbarians, both to the wise and to the unwise. Verse 15, so as much as in me is, I am ready to preach the gospel to you that are at Rome also. Thou art at Rome also. This is Acts chapter 2. Acts chapter 2, verse 5. It says, and there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. I'm going to read it again. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under the heaven. So we were scattered under every nation under the heaven. Okay. So Israelites, Jews would be in all places. All right. But we were supposed to come 3 times to Jerusalem for those specific holy days. And this is what they were doing. It says, verse 6, now when this was noised abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded, because that every man heard them speak in his own language. And they were all amazed and marveled, saying one to another, behold, are not all these which speak Galileans? How And how hear we every man in our own tongue, wherein we were born? Parthians and Medes and Elamites and dwellers of Mesopotamia and in Judea and Cappadocia and Pontus and Asia and Pergia and Pamphylia and Egypt and in all parts of Libya about Cyrene and strangers of Rome. It says they were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. And strangers of Rome, Jews and proselytes. Proselytes being those who were brought back to serve Yahushua and believe newly in Yahushua. Okay? But strangers of Rome, all right, Jews. So back in Romans, these, he was talking to the Israelite foreigners, Jews. Okay? It says, verse 15, so as much as in me, Romans 1 and 15. So as much as in me is, I am ready to preach the gospel to you that are at Rome also. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Yahushua, for it is the power of the Most High unto salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek. And that Greek is the Greek word Hellenists, which means Jews who made Greek their tongue, and with it often adopted Greek practices and ideas. Okay? Right. So I'm going to read that again. It says, for I am not ashamed of the gospel of Yahushua, for it is the power of God unto salvation to everyone that believeth. To everyone that believeth of who? To the Jew first and also to the Greek, both in which were Israelites. All right. The Jew first, of course, we know that's Israelites, and also to the Greek. The Greek word for Greek right there is Hellenist, which means Jews who made Greek their tongue. Okay? But, so it says, everyone that believeth. Now, I want to hit a couple scriptures on that. This is, because people get, these cats even, what was his name? E.J. Love and his guy and all those who think like them. This is Acts 2 and 21. It says, and it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Verse 22. Ye men of Israel, hear these words. All right, because they'll go to that and see, whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord. No. Whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved, ye men of Israel. Okay? Going to John 3:16. John 3:16. This is everybody's favorite. It says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. So, now if I go get that, let me go ahead. John 3:16. It says, for one, this word world is cosmos. All right. It says an apt, a harmonious arrangement. Okay. And then they wind up going off in there and saying some old other stuff. Okay. But oikomene, if you go look up the Greek word oikomene, which is used in Luke 2 and 1, where it says Augustus went to tax the whole world, that's oikomene, which means the inhabited earth. Wherever inhabitants are, that's what it's talking about. This right here is talking about, matter of fact, cosmos. I'm going to go up and you see aggregate. Any aggregate. Any aggregate. Now, what is aggregate? What is an aggregate? What is an aggregate? This is an aggregate formed by the collection or the conjunction or the collection of particulars. All right? Not everybody. It says an aggregate is formed by the conjunction or collection of particulars into a whole mass or sum. Okay? And who are the particulars? The Israelites. All right? And more particular than that, the elect of the Israelites. All right? Because those are the ones that's going to be saved without having to deal with that wrath of the Lord. All right? They're going to be saved from that. All right? So John 3:16, for God so loved the world. So God so loved the aggregate. For God so loved the particulars. For God so loved that harmonious arrangement. All right? The constitution, the order. All right? Just like cosmos. Cosmos, basically, you know, you get different constellations. All right? All the stars ain't one constellation. You know? It's a set of particular stars. All right? That makes the Big Dipper. It's other particular stars that makes the Little Dipper. So on and so forth. So for God so loved this aggregate, this world, was talking about the particulars of the Israelites, that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever of the Israelites, all right, because that's who it's talking about. Okay, carrying on. 1 John 5. 1 John 5:1, because I think I seen a comment from one of the jokes, EJ Love or his sidekick Adam or whoever, and I think they brought out this. I think they brought out this 1 John, which is 1 John 5:1. Once again, it says, "Whosoever believeth that Yahushua is the Messiah is born of God, and everyone that loveth him that begat loveth him also that is begotten of him." Okay? And that it says, "Whosoever believeth that Yahushua is the Messiah is born of the Most High, and everyone that loveth him that begot loveth him also that is begotten of him." But they fail to jump to verse 10. It says, "He that believeth on the Son of the Most High God hath the witness in himself. He that believeth not God hath made him a liar." I'm going to read that again. "He that believeth on the Son of the Most High God hath the witness in himself. He that believeth not God hath made him a liar, because he believeth not the record that God gave his son." Okay? Now, 1 John 5:10. 1 John 5:10 is 3141. G3141 marturia. All right? The testifying, the office committed to the prophets of testifying concerning future events. All right? A witness in a legal sense, in a historical sense, one who is a spectator of anything, those who after his example have proved the strength and genuineness of their faith in Yahushua. Okay. So the evidence given, the record, the report, the testimonies, the witness. Okay. So you have to believe everything that the Yahushua is about. Okay, you got to believe on the record. You just can't say, "Oh, I believe in Jesus." The blonde hair, blue eye, and the idolatry and false doctrine that come with that. All right, because with that image comes a false doctrine. Love everyone, peace. You could do anything that you want to do. All right, long as you love everyone and don't hurt anyone. That's bull. All right, you have to believe on the record. Whosoever that believe on the record